If you're like me, a person alive on Earth at the moment, then you've probably seen the Disney logo a lot in your life. I grew up with Disney, watching Disney movies, watching Disney Channel, playing with Disney branded merchandise. You just can't escape it. But here's the thing, and maybe I should be embarrassed to admit this, but I'm not, and I'll explain why I'm not later. I always thought the D in Disney was a G. Turns out it's actually, get this, a D. Okay, maybe the D in Disney being a D doesn't come as a surprise for most of you, but it does come as a surprise for some of you, and that's why I'm not going to be ashamed that it took more than 20 years to realize. This confusion over the Disney D isn't some random obscurity as it turns out. Hank Green even made a recent video about it, calling out the fact that this doesn't look like a D.
Like, this is not a D, and this isn't really a Y. It's like Giznep. Why?
And a month before Hank's video, I actually answered the Ask Reddit question, what are obvious things you've just become aware of about this very problem? And got well over 1,000 upvotes, so I'm not the only one. There are gazillions of us. Gazillions. Now, this doesn't mean I always thought it was Gizney. I knew the word was Disney, but just assumed they were using some weird backwards G for some reason. I didn't ever think to question it. It just was. I saw it was a backwards G, and yet it was clearly pronounced Disney and spelled Disney when not stylized. Therefore, this just seemed like a simple fact of nature, like how this is pronounced Nike, despite clearly being spelled Nike. So I think in my mind, I thought it was actually a G, which was stylized by being turned backwards and was pronounced as D. If I had to guess why, I'd have probably assumed it was some holdover from a foreign language, like when a Russian girl named Julia is called Yulia. Probably somewhere in Europe there's a little village where G's have a D sound. I don't know. And for any of those normies out there who still can't see the backwards G, just look. It's clearly a G turned backwards. I even remember the moment I realized it was a D. I was on the subway staring at an advertisement for Disney branded clothing. I just stood there looking at the word and suddenly I saw it. It's a friggin' D. I definitely don't divide my life into pre and post D awareness, but it was certainly a game changer. Also, the realization has certainly lost some of that Disney magic for me. Anyway, that's just something I thought I'd share. Join me next time when we discuss how the first letter in the Marvel logo is really just a backwards M.